sometimes I talk about fears made me famous, right?
I like that.
So fears made me famous. So it's basically the fear of me not playing the sport made me work harder, made me do things I wanted to do. The fear of not being able to contribute and be a part of it made me do those things outside of the game to make myself as good as I could be, because my fear was I'm not going to be on the field. I'm not going to be able to play. I'm not going to be fast enough. I'm not going to be strong enough. I'm not going to be this. So that's my mindset that was basically built in. But the fear of death also gave me a fear of understanding I got to figure out what's going on in my body. And then anger went in of, I was one of the best. How can I not be in the best shape I can be? Right. But I was the best of the best when I played the sport.
Time to embrace change and be about that life. This is Dr. Bass with the About That Life podcast, the podcast about life or living intentionally forever. As you know, fitness and health are part of our lifestyle. Whether we're growing up playing sports, football, basketball, running track, or whether we are coaches of various things. Well, today I have a friend of mine, I would say a special guest, but we've talked before about the importance of maintaining your health throughout your sport, whether you're an elite athlete, a dad, or just someone trying to have certain longevity. But the big key thing is, what does life look like after the locker room? Well, today I'm joined by some of my friends, some individuals that I admire because they've really taken that bull by the horns and shifted kind of what we think that looks like. Whether it's continuing sport or helping others, understanding that what your life looked like after the locker room is probably just as important as it did there. Well, today I want to present to some and introduce to others Mr. Will Shields. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good to see you down here from Kansas City, man.
I know. It's a little warm out here today. Getting a little dry, though, you know.
I know, but that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Weather's good.
You're not even fazed by it. So now we talked before, and that episode has yet to show up. It was a little colder then.
Yeah.
We were outside, but you talked about how, you know, you had played, you were at a certain weight, you felt good, but then when it was over, you started to notice your body changing and things weren't, you couldn't do some of the things that you wanted to do, and you had to make a switch. First, tell the folks why you made that transition and how you recognized that, hey, I probably need to do some things differently.
Well, I think when you play a sport, you're always into your body. You're in tune to what you're doing, how you feel. And to me, that's the most important piece. So week in and week out, when you're playing, you're going, okay, am I better? Am I worse? Am I getting a little older? And every year you feel with, you know, these different aches and bruises and pains that you didn't have the years before. Once I retired, it was more or less a sigh of relief of, okay, now I could do some other things. I could relax a little more. But the problem is that I didn't change my eating habits. My habits stayed the same. Basically, I was still, you know, eating fast food here and eating whatever I thought I could eat when I wasn't working out the same. You know, I wasn't basically...
That balance.
Yeah, the balance piece. Balance was out of the door of, you know, because you would work out and then you would be able to eat more because your body would burn it up.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, as I got a little older and more sore, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do it tomorrow. I'll sleep in or do this. And basically I started gaining pounds and pounds and pounds until I got to almost 355 pounds.
Wow.
At one point. And so at that point, you know, concerns of my wife and everyone else, okay, you're getting a little bigger, having a hard time walking up downstairs, you know, things like that. You're like, man, this is not good.
Now put this, I don't want to cut you off because people, I know you because you know, I went to Kansas and I followed kind of your success. Tell people, and I know you don't like bragging on yourself, but this is one of them times where being humble I want them to understand you were Hall of Fame. You kind of talk about.
No, you've always been that guy that touted yourself as being in the best shape you can always be.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, for training camp, you're always the one that wanted to be the first one there, the last one to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Always wanted to be by example, never wanted to prove you were tired. So, you know, I was one of those guys that ended up, you know, playing at a high level, trying to set a tone for everything that you did. And that was one thing I did, is trying to set a tone as far as the sport I played.
Wow.
And then when I got done, it was like, okay, can I take a breath? Can I take a breather?
Mm-hmm.
Can I relax? And really my body is telling me, no, I can't.
Wow.
I need to keep working on different things because I wasn't doing the same things I was doing before.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, making Pro Bowls and doing all the different things that you were doing, but it took a toll on your body, but also took a toll on you being able to work out like that on a regular basis. And as you got older, your body's telling you, yeah, You're not going to be doing those things you used to do. You know, the things you used to thought were, I'm going to ride the bike for an hour. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Now it's easier for me to sit on the couch, eat more snacks. Netflix is really not helping me out of that because I can sit and watch all the TV and do all the other things.
No, and I think a lot of us, non-elite athletes fall into that space too. But it's harder because we never had that high level of activity. I look at some of my college pictures and like, wow, I was 3.5% body fat. Whoa, I can get back there. No, I can't. I wasn't waking up in the morning training and having training in the afternoon and that's not part, I'm dad, doc, I'm coach, I'm all these other things. So how did you take that and translate it into something that you told me was your passion, was to kind of help other people see health as a realistic option for them and some of the things. How did you translate that life after the locker room in that space?
So I think it's really interesting to me. There's a couple of different things that you sort of walk through. So sometimes I talk about fears made me famous, right?
I like that.
So fears made me famous. So it's basically the fear of me not playing the sport made me work harder, made me do things I wanted to do. The fear of not being able to contribute and be a part of it made me do those things outside of the game to make myself as good as I could be, because my fear was I'm not going to be on the field. I'm not going to be able to play. I'm not going to be fast enough. I'm not going to be strong enough. I'm not going to be this. So that's my mindset that was basically built in. But the fear of death also gave me a fear of understanding I got to figure out what's going on in my body. And then anger went in of, I was one of the best. How can I not be in the best shape I can be?
Right.
But I was the best of the best when I played the sport. So then I start trying to figure out, okay, how can I make my body the best it can be? Mm-hmm. So then I started doing research and studying, and then I've got to the gym business for a while and started helping others as well as helping myself through the same process. So I'm taking other people with me and going, hey, you know what? I found out this today. So I'm learning new things and they're learning new things, and we're going at the same time going, hey, I got this, and this. I was like, well, guess what? I did that too. And when I was laying on the ground in the middle of the morning, dizzy, trying to figure out, okay, can I get up?
Wow.
It was the sign of, okay, I got to figure this out. Mm-hmm. There's something definitely wrong. There's something not working for what I've been trying to do. So I went to the doctor, started doing some different stuff for them. He told me to go see a person that does dietitian. Mm-hmm. And of course, when you go to the dietitian, I'm just saying, hey, I'll tell you right now, I'm prejudiced against dietitians. Because they're always a little small person trying to tell me what to do and how to now come on. And, and it was like, hey, you've never been like this.
Yeah.
You've never been this big. But, you're trying to tell me, and maybe they had other issues that they went through. But, they never walked that walk of, where I felt like,
what'd you tell me? 299 was the perfect deal. 299.
Good, but, you're 355 and somebody in front of you is like $1.50, or less, or $1. They're telling you, hey, you need to eat this and do that and do this. It makes it hard.
Yeah. Definitely.
So basically, I started doing a lot of research back and forth. Doctor said I was pre-diabetic. Mm-hmm. So I start testing all the time. So I still test today. I test like once or twice a day just to see where I'm at, to try to figure out what's the best food for me.
Right.
So then I start going through, and it's like I start reading all these books and all this other stuff, research. So then it goes to a point where they go, okay, if you're under 150 after 2 hours you eat the meal, then your body's good. You're working your way back down to where it should be. Mm-hmm. So I was now testing myself. So I go eat a banana, and I'd be testing my blood every 2 hours to see where it was.
Let me do this test.
I was like, wait a minute, do my own guinea pig, trying to figure out what foods work best with my body.
Right.
But it also gave me a better knowledge of understanding when people ask me, hey, what could I do? What should I do? And I said, everybody is different.
Right.
So your body reacts to different things at different times in your life. Because at one point, when I was pre-30 years old, I didn't have any kind of asthma, any kind of reaction to all the other stuff, all the pollen in the air and everything else. I turned 30 years old. I'm coughing, I'm sneezing, I got all kinds of things. So my body's telling me, hey, I can't process
something.
The same stuff that I used to process. And that's the same with food.
Wow.
Your body can't process food the same as you did when you were younger.
Yep.
Or when you were more active. So to me, that's where I started learning and try to do the best I can be. It's not perfect. You never be perfect.
Right.
You will have those good days, bad days, and slide days, but you just got to try to keep yourself. And I wanted to find something that is a lifestyle, not a diet.
I love it.
And so that to me was my other goal, of finding something I can do every day and not go, well, I'm on this particular diet and I can only eat 4 ounces of this or 3 ounces of that. And it is, some things are built into that, but it's still something that's manageable. And now I call it hunting. So I can hunt for food instead of now trying to, go to the grocery store and go, oh, I can eat whatever I want.
Right.
No, I got to go hunt.
We got to be specific.
To go walk and hunt and find things and everything else. And that's where I see it now. And so it's fun going out and hunting and finding new, different kinds of food that you can eat and how other people make it differently, but still help for you. And it's better for you, and it makes your body feel good.
So now I told you always drop off these gems, and I wish I could write them down. So if you had, so people watching this, they see you, they know who you were and who you are now and how you've been able to transition that life after the locker room. If you could give them 3 or 4 points to say, if you do these things, and you said everyone's different, but this is a foundation for you to start that, as you said, lifestyle, to improve your lifestyle. And whether you know it, I'm a lifestyle medicine as well as a cardiologist, right? So we focus on the 6 paradigms of lifestyle medicine. But if you could give them some takeaway points, what would they be?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, go do your blood work. Find out where you are. You got to have a baseline somewhere.
Right.
Find out where you are, what's going on in your body. And then after that, find out how you can now test and check where you want to be.
Okay.
Because some people are, like I said, some people can be 300 pounds and healthy, and other people can't.
Right.
And so that's the difference of, it's not about your size, it's not about your shape, it's not about how many pounds you can use. It's about what's most effective for your body. Because I'll tell you, I've seen some human beings that shouldn't be able to do what they can do at their size, but they can.
But they do it.
And so that to me is that first piece, is test it, find out where you are, where you want to be and how you're doing. And then I think the second piece is always find out all the different matrix of the body. And so to me, that's now getting outside of the realm of, you can't just go with natural Western medicine to be better.
All right.
You have to sort of do some chiropractic work, find out where your muscle structures are and how you build that into what you do. And then the third part, which is very important, is a support system.
Okay,
Find the people around you that is willing to understand what you're going through and support you with what you do.
Wow.
And those that do not, basically cut them out.
Get rid of them.
And you don't need them. To a certain point, hey, you know what? I love you, but I've got things I need to do to get to where I want to go. And to me, that makes it hard, but it also makes it simple because you let them know where you want to be, what you want to do, and how you want to get there.
Man, as always, you always simplify what seems the most complex. Like I said, just like when we were in Kansas City talking, but first, get your numbers.
Get the
information you need to make that foundational decision and understand how to change. And then you kind of said it, know yourself, know your body, right? Not everybody's the same. Like I'm plant forward. I don't eat any animal products, but for some people that might not be the right choice, but eating real food is important too, right? So knowing yourself. And then finally, building that team. I knew you were going to bring it back to team.
You have to have a team. You have to have people around you that can help you understand where you're going. And your team might be your doctor, your chiropractor, and your massage therapist. That's how it works. If they can help you within that team, that's your team.
That's your team.
And it might be, you hope it's your wife or significant other or whatever that is. But sometimes they're not the person.
Yep.
So know what you can count on and you can or can't. And that's where you sort of have to build that into your mindset. And sometimes it's hard. Because you feel like you're on an island on your own. And guess what? Sometimes it's okay to be on that island.
Yeah.
Because you're going to
get better.
You're going to get better.
Yeah. Mr. Shields, my friend, my buddy, man, always a pleasure talking to you. I knew you were going to drop these gems.
No problem.
This is going to show sooner than later.
All right.
We'll definitely help some people with it.
Well,
thanks, my friend.
No problem.
We truly hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, share it with a friend, leave a comment, and certainly join us for our next episode of the About That Life podcast.